signal to the world we are open for business.
We are now open for business. This is 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 bringing you yet another episode to guide you in discovering your passion and growing your business as we learn from experts in the field. Sama-sama tayong matuto sa isa na namang makabuluhang usapan tungo sa pagpapaunlad ng inyong negosyo. Ang Open for Business ay mapapanood nyo rin sa Facebook at YouTube. Siguraduhin mag-like at mag-subscribe sa aming social media page at Net25TV. Alamin natin, suriin mula sa mga negosyante, thought leaders at mga personalidad sa iba't ibang larangan ang kanilang mga strategies, ang mga bagong trends at mahahalagang karanasan sa pagninegosyo dahil tayo ay open for business. Financial security is more important than ever. But what if you could get all your protection needs, life, health, property, and more in one place? Join us as we sit down with Emil Quijano, a leader in direct selling and business expansion, to explore the success story of RoyalCare Marketing Services and its ventures, the RoyalCare venue, Royal Cafe, and 𝗗𝗶𝗴𝗶𝗏. Don't miss this exclusive interview only on Open for Business.
I'm 𝗗𝗶𝗴𝗏𝗏 bringing you business news and information here on Open for Business. First quarter GDP grew by 5.4%. The economy slightly edged in the first 3 months of the year as the gross domestic product was marginally higher by 5.4%, data from the Philippine Statistics Authority showed. While the first quarter figure was better than the 5.3% performance in the last 3 months of 2024, the latest GDP is slower than the 5.9% growth recorded during the same period last year. It also fell short of the government's initial growth target of between 6 to 8%. Now, more news from the PSA: agricultural output higher in the first quarter. The PSA reported that agriculture and fisheries output for the first quarter gained by 1.9% to 437.74 billion pesos versus the same period last year. The positive growth bucked the downward trend during the previous quarters, with crop production accounting for 57% of the total value of the agriculture performance for the 3 months ending March. Factory output sees modest recovery. The value of production index, or the measure of manufacturing output in the country, rose by 0.4% in March, a reversal from the negative 0.6% recorded in February, data from the PSA showed. The modest performance was also a reversal from the negative 6.2% registered during the same month last year. The output expansion was attributed to the faster annual increase in the manufacturing of food products by 19.2%, the PSA added. Domestic debt reaches 11.38 trillion pesos. Now, the country's domestic debt remained the biggest obligation, recorded at 11.38 trillion pesos as of end March 2025, said the Bureau of Treasury in a statement. The amount accounted for 68.2% of the total debt stock, with external obligations amounting to 5.30 trillion pesos, or 31.8%. The total borrowings of the national government as of end March stood at 16.68 trillion pesos, higher by 11.78% than the previous year's recorded of 14.93 trillion pesos. The Treasury Bureau said that the total borrowings are still manageable and that the country's economic performance has outpaced its debt, enabling it to finance priority programs. The strengthening of the peso is also a key factor in cushioning the management of the country's debt. And that's the business roundup for this week. I'm 𝗗𝗶𝗴𝗏𝗏 for Open for Business.
This portion is brought to you by Pure Gold. Sa Pure Gold, always mura, always kompleto, always may promo, always panalo.
30 years married, how do you guys do it?
Connecting heart to heart and eye to eye.
Paano pag lumabo ng mata?
EO Executive Optical, expert eye care, state-of-the-art facilities, affordable eyewear.
Stop staring.
Connecting with you, Dad.
Love you.
Love your eyes.
Insurance isn't just about policies, it's about peace of mind. But finding the right provider who understands your needs and offers seamless, hassle-free services can be a challenge. That's where a one-stop shop company like RoyalCare Marketing Services comes in, providing customized insurance solutions for individuals, businesses, and organizations across the country. Today, we're joined by Mr. Emiliano B, an expert in direct selling and business expansion, who is also the sales and marketing director of the company, to talk about the power of having all your insurance needs handled under one roof and how RoyalCare is answering all of your needs when it comes to future financial planning. Plus, we'll dive into their expansion into hospitality and dining, proving that business growth comes with innovation. Welcome back to the show, Emil. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for having me again, Cesar. It's nice to be like it's second home.
Yes, you were talking about it off cam, and I think your first guesting was 6 years ago, and
Yeah.
we're happy to note that Open for Business is now on its 6th year.
Wow, congratulations.
The first time that we guested you, I think we started initially online, but we're happy to note that there are really who we call balikbayans as well. Kasi the ones who came back are now bigger. They have innovated as well into other businesses. And I think RoyalCare is one of those. So now, my first question. Looking at RoyalCare, you offer healthcare, life, and non-insurance. Why is it an advantage for customers to engage in a company like RoyalCare Marketing Services? Kasi sabi ko nga dun sa introduction ko kanina, Emil, di ba, pag sinabi mo insurance, talagang isa yan sa pinakamahirap ibenta. Kasi nga, sinasabi nila, wala pa, hindi ba nagkakasakit, di ba na-hospital, pero nagbabayad ka na. But it is because what you're paying for is something, it's not tangible, di ba? It's peace of mind. So why should people engage in a company like yours if there's so much competition in the market?
You're correct there, Cesar. Actually, in the Philippines, insurance is not being bought. Insurance is being sold.
Okay.
So,
Ayun, explain that. It's not being bought, it's being sold. Okay.
Sa Pilipinas, nobody would say, I'd like insurance, di ba? Bibili ako ng insurance.
Wala, tama.
So you
Okay.
have to go there and explain. You have to guarantee that it is a good investment on the part of the insured. No? So we learned over time that people will buy insurance from people they know, they like, and they trust. So these are the three.
They know, they like, and they trust.
So these are the three ingredients.
Emil, total, binanggit mo na, it's not, in the Philippines, it's not bought, but it's sold. May mga countries ba talaga na parang naging common na yun, na parang, ay, bibili ako ng insurance. Parang yun ang number one nila. Kasi parang lumalabas ngayon sa Pilipinas, huli nila yon o kaya wala pa talaga sa listahan nila. Di ba?
Correct. Well, for one, we used to, when I was with another company, we used to partner with a company that's Japanese-based. And in Japan, about 90% of the Japanese are insured. So it's a part of the necessity in their hierarchy that insurance is a must. So yun yung kulang pa sa Pilipino. In spite of the fact that the insurance industry has been here since there are insurance companies that have stayed here for over 100 years, 150 the oldest. But there are only 5% of Filipinos that are insured.
What's the current data? Up to now, it's still 5%?
Yeah, hindi, kasi lumalaki yung population natin. So lumalaki yung 5%, but the percentage still remains the same.
Oh, I see.
So in fact, in the past, there are a lot of insurance companies that ventured into the Philippines because their data said only 5% are insured. So there's a lot of room for the market. And then later on, they found out talagang 5% lang yung bibili, no? So they started selling their interest to the local insurance companies. So, yun pa rin yung data.
Why is that so? Is there any explanations on the discrepancy?
It's basically because of priorities and because of education. So, in the Philippines, the number of cell phones that are out there is times 3 the population. So, meaning each Filipino would probably have 2.5 or 3 cell phones, which is very expensive, plus the load, plus the accessories that you put in, but they will not buy insurance. For healthcare, we have a product, for example, that will only cost 10 pesos per day, and you're covered comprehensively.
Wow.
So, inpatient, outpatient, emergency, consultations, annual physical exam, all that for only 10 pesos a day. And yet, people would rather invest in the 300 peso load than invest in healthcare. So it's the education, Cesar. It's education and priorities of the Filipinos.
That's amazing. You know, imagine investing in your health. At saka yung 10 pesos na yun, sinasabi nyo, Emil, parang kasama na halos lahat yun, di ba? Parang outpatient, kasama
Outpatient, inpatient, emergency, kasama din yung annual physical exam.
Wow.
And then meron ka pang parang personal accident. So if something happens to you or to the policy holder, then there's a payout. So hindi na siya kailangang kumuha ng hiwalay na personal accident, hiwalay na healthcare. It's all rolled into one.
Pero Emil, di ba parang sa Pilipinas naman, although, di ba parang sabi nyo nga, the key is really education as well. Ano kaya yung problema natin sa Pilipinas pagdating sa insurance education na may mga efforts naman kayo at matagal na yung industriya. May ano ba? May bad experiences din ba ang Pinoy tungkol dyan na kumbaga pagdating sa education ay hindi pa sapat yung kanilang kaalaman na dapat talagang mapagtuunan ang insurance?
In the past, yung mga lumang policy, insurance kasi is associated with death.
Okay.
So parang when you buy an insurance, the only time you're going to benefit from it is
or
when
claim.
you die. So it's the mindset na pag bumili ako ng insurance, papakinabangan ko yan pag namatay na ako. But now, insurance is different. There are living benefits. So insurance becomes an investment, it becomes a savings, it becomes educational, so it becomes protection.
For your retirement as well,
And
di ba?
kasama yun sa'yo. So there are living benefits that your policy you only pay for 5 or 10 years, but you're covered for your lifetime. And then there are cash benefits or there are conversion benefits when you want and need it, then you can borrow from your insurance policy.
Or you can withdraw entirely.
Pwede mo
ganyan.
i-withdraw. Oo. But when you borrow, you're still covered. Hindi nababawasan yung yung coverage mo. Kaya mas maganda, pera mo naman yan, di gamitin mo.
Can you walk us through on how RoyalCare simplifies the insurance process for individuals, families, and businesses? Kasi baka isipin ng mga nanonood sa atin, complicated din. Ang daming requirements. Is it easy for families, organizations, individuals, and businesses to get insurance?
Buying insurance is not really that complicated. The challenge is when you're getting the insurance at the time that you're no longer qualified. Parang steak. When you were younger, you wanted to eat steak. Kaya lang, you think you cannot afford it.
Yes.
And then when you're older, when you have the money to buy steak, hindi ka na pwedeng kumain
Bawal
kasi
sa'yo.
bawal na sa'yo. So insurance works like that. And then you can tailor fit or you can customize the insurance program based on your requirement. That's why we help them assess anong requirement mo kung gusto mo mag-retire at 60, magkano perang kailangan mo to sustain your lifestyle, to sustain if there are people that you're still subsidizing
Supporting.
for school. So we help compute that based on your requirement, and then tailor fit natin, okay, customize natin. Ito yung kailangan mong insurance. Eventually naman, if you buy a small policy, if you're younger, then you can increase it as you can increase the value as you go on. Normally, when you're young, below 40, there is no medical requirement. So mas
Below
madaling-
40, walang
Oo.
medical requirement. Ibig sabihin kasi siguro baka pag 40 ka, medyo wala ka pa masyadong
Wala
sakit.
pa.
Below 40.
Yun ang ina-assume. Nagba-background check naman yung mga insurance companies. They have 2 years to contest that if ever. No? If you're selling the insurance policy to somebody who does not need it. For example, in terms of sasabihin mo, meron kang savings na kukunin, marami na siyang savings, but you may want to customize a program for estate planning so that when may papamana siya, insurance, you don't pay any taxes when you redeem it. Unlike in the bank, if you have money in the bank and the depositor dies and the family withdraws it, makukuha mo yun, but it's taxable.
I see.
By insurance policy, when it goes to their beneficiaries, it is completely tax-free. So yun yung advantage. Your 1 million in insurance, based on the number of years, it can double up. So ang makukuha mo is more than what you have put in.
Ano ba ang edad na pinakamabuting kumuha ka na ng insurance?
Sa akin, sa experience namin, when you're 18, start buying insurance. So, wala ka ng medical, mababa yung premium. And then, as you grow older, the premium stays. Hindi naman siya nag-i-increase.
Hindi na dadagdagan.
Hindi na dadagdagan yung premium.
What if magdagdag ka ng hulog, pero halimbawa sabihin mo, dadagdag ko sa investment. Pwedeng ganon. Yung mag-overpay ka.
There are insurance policies now that you can divide your premium into investments and into life. So, pwede mo gawin yun. The advantage is that the insurance company pulls these investments. So, mas malaki yung pwede mo maging yield. Unlike if you are going to invest on your own in a stock market, nag-iisa ka lang dun eh. Samantalang dito, if the insurance companies would pool those investments and then they will invest it in blue chip companies.
And RoyalCare does that?
As we market it, and then the insurance partner does that for our clients.
Which means that, unlike before, parang we're trying to educate people now na hindi lang death ito. So, you are taking care of your health. At the same time, there are also programs or policies that are investment-linked.
Yes, yun yung gusto ng mga bata ngayon eh, tinatawag na VUL. So, yung variable unit link, that's the ones that the young people buys now. Kasi merong investment portion. So, yun yung nagugustuhan nila. But there are also policies like endowment that you can put in a certain number of years. After that number of years, you can already withdraw the money. That, kunyari, in 20 years, when you're looking at retiring already, pwede mong kunin na yon.
Pero ano na yung gaano kumita na yon? Gaano na lumaki? Hindi, like, when you compare it to the regular bank, gaano kataas?
Nagbabari yun sa market eh. So, pero meron siyang tinatawag na there are policies which we call participating and non-participating. When you say it's participating, they'll probably, you will want to invest it in a blue chip company. So, yung non-participating, guaranteed yung kanyang yield. Yung participating naman, it can go higher.
I see. Depending on the
yield of the market.
And the market kasi varies, di ba? Depending on the business climate. Ganyan. And the current market value, ganon.
Yung iba kasi natatakot bumili pag mababa yung market. The best time to buy shares is when the market is down.
Yun ang lagi nating naririnig, di ba? Para kunyari, pag bagsak ang merkado, dapat bumili ka na. Parang ganyan. Yung iba ayaw. Natatakot.
So, yun. Sa healthcare naman, we cater to, as I said, we have identified a niche wherein, because over the past years, we do not want to compete anymore. Because competition is costly. So, what we do is we find a niche that we can dominate. So, the new trend now is do not compete, but dominate. So find a segment that you can dominate and then own that segment. We have identified the manpower industry, our market niche, kasi ang dami nun. And the manpower industry are composed of very young people. No? Yung mga merchandisers, yung makikita mo sa mga supermarkets, so yung mga temps. No? So these are composed of people ages from 18 to 35. So hindi naman sila nagkakasakit. At the time that we were looking at this market, we call them, they are the underserved and unserved. Marami nga doon unserved, so wala nga silang program to cover for the healthcare. So we designed the program, we put in the benefits which we feel would suit the young workers, and then we give it to a company, and the company prices it. That's why we were able to afford, because of the volume that we were able to harness, we were able to price it at less than 10 pesos per day.
you're saying is you have dominated that market.
We believe we do because we have the biggest names in the industry that we handle right now.
Now that you have identified that specific market, ano naman yung mga ino-offer mo na different types of insurance to them?
RoyalCare is the position to say that we are probably one of the company that has all the insurance packages.
Okay.
So we have life, non-life, and individual and family. So that stemmed out from the fact that when we go to a company and offer them health insurance, tatanungin nila, do you have insurance for cars? Do you have insurance for the house? Do you have insurance? So,
one-stop siya kayo ngayon.
So kami na lang yung kausap nila. And then you mentioned the events place that we have. So, bakit may relasyon ba yung events place sa insurance? It's one way for people to know us, to trust us, and to like us. Kasi there's a permanent location where they see, nandito yung RoyalCare. Hindi siya yung parang ahente na baka mawala ito.
Parang it humanizes the insurance.
Para nagkaroon ng personality, yung insurance. We also have a package, like you say, yung wellness program. Some companies do not offer it. So we create a wellness program depending on the utilization requirements. Pag nakikita namin ito lumalaking utilization nila, then we come up with a program. We have a doctor in the house, part of our management team that designs these wellness programs. Sa mga bata, so aside from the fact that they have a coverage like that, they can start getting their own personal insurance, yung kanilang pangsarili at saka sa kanilang family. That's one-stop shop also, and it's not very, very expensive. So we can design a program wherein they can pay on affordable basis, basta may coverage sila. In business, there are several types. We have what we call comprehensive general liability. If you have a restaurant, you have a structure. And if you're not covered by CGLI, pag may nadapa doon o mayroong nadulas, babayaran
mo lahat yun.
But CGLI covers that. So kung merong madulas dun sa establishment mo, that's covered by insurance. So if you have a restaurant and there are deleterious materials na hindi naman sinasadya, kunyari nagkaroon ng food poisoning, that's covered by insurance.
Okay, I understand that among insurance providers globally, the use of AI, pinag-uusapan po ito ngayon, Emil. Artificial intelligence for underwriting, distribution, claims, it is becoming the norm. What role does technology play in streamlining insurance services at RoyalCare?
You can now get all your requirements in an app. For example, you wanted to find out, I'm sick, what's the nearest hospital?
Okay.
It's in the app. You want to find out how much utilization you've already used up your maximum benefit limit, you can use it in the app. But insurance is a personalized thing. So we are not yet so keen on putting in an artificial voice or an artificial person behind the app. Kasi walang emotions, walang attachment. And I said those three things is trust and likeness and friendliness.
Okay.
And these are the things that AI is not able to
Cannot provide, yes.
Cannot provide it. In RoyalCare, one of the things that we are proud of is that we are augmenting or supplementing the people that manages the HMO. For example, HR. HR has so many things that they need to do. So RoyalCare came up with a program wherein we do all the things that HR is doing to manage HMO. Kami nang gumagawa nun. So we tell the HR, you can focus on your core business and we will do the managing for your employees. So from enrollment to getting their IDs to, for example, they need to avail and go to the hospital. Si RoyalCare is on top of all that. So nababawasan sila. AI will not probably be able to do that. Some people would strategize on price. Some people would strategize on the product. We strategize on our service. Because it's part of our values that service would be the forefront of our business. It's going to be our core. So, for example, when you go to hospital and you go to an HMO hub, makikita mo daming pila doon. Pumipila sila to get their LOA. In RoyalCare, our client calls us and we arrange for the LOA to be given to the client. So they don't have to fall in line. Kami lang gumagawa doon in their behalf. And then if you're a client, you can go to our venue and you can use it as your clubhouse. If you're a small business, saan ko dadalhin yung kliyente ko? Wala akong pagmimitingan. You go to the RoyalCare venue and you have a clubhouse there that you can entertain your guests. So, meron ka ng parang sarili mong events place.
With all these innovations and initiatives, this is also, Emil, what we call reputation building. And you have continuously grown your clientele over the years. Can you walk us through on how you built that kind of reputation and the cost that was invested on it to ensure that you continue providing that kind of differentiation?
That's a very good question, Cesar. In fact, competition is abound, is so much, in the market. What you have to do is to flank what competition is giving. So, as the parlance in businesses, you blue ocean it. So you go to something that's not too many people that are doing that.
Yes.
So one of the things that we did is, aside from putting up an events place where we can talk to the clients while they're waiting for their food, we can talk about our business. Number one, I call that permission marketing. So normally marketing is intrusive. So people don't want, when you go to the mall, they hand you out some, brochures and all that.
Tsaka in-introduce to ni, binabasa ko to, si Seth Godin yata.
Permission
Okay,
marketing.
go ahead with permission marketing.
So, yung tinatawag nating purple cow. No? So, we want to be the purple cow na hiwalay kami. So, when you go there, you're welcome, you sit down. While you're waiting, we tour you around and then we slightly talk about, makikita nila yung karatula namin. Ano yung RoyalCare? So, that's when we talk about our business. And then a big number of clients are coming from our diners that are going to the events place. No? And then we have clients that have been with us for 10, 12 years. No? Hindi na sila umaalis sa amin. No? Because they know that when RoyalCare, sabi nga namin fit for a royalty, we take care of you, fit for a royalty. So yung ginagawa natin. So one of the things that we did, Cesar, is we put up what we call the RoyalCare Academy. So I am the chief facilitator. So we design programs for our employees so they become better equipped in servicing our clients. Ang tawag nga natin, you take care of your employees, the employees take care of your clients. Because wala ka namang exclusivity na ikaw yung mag-aalaga ng client. Second, we give those training for free to our clients. So I already did several, hindi lang naman ako, I can get facilitators. There are faculty in our lineup coming from different industries. So we train people in HR, we train people on leadership, we train people in sales and marketing, and we also facilitate their strategic planning. And that's free. It's part of our service. So it's coping up, sabi nga ni Alris, is you innovate or you die. So continuously, there should be something new in what you're offering to the client na hindi basta-basta maduduplicate. So fortunately, our clients will not be able to duplicate an events place right away. So meron na tayo nun. And it's not easy to duplicate an academy that you can teach your clients and you know what their needs are. So the more that we do these things, the more that the client would say, hindi na tayo aalis dito kasi sila nang nag-aasikaso sa atin. So yun yung isa sa one way of ours competing. Hindi pala competing, dominating, because we don't want to compete. So we create things that we are probably not available in the marketplace. And then we do it for the clients.
Hello po! Alam niyo ba na mas pinadali pa ng COMELEC ang pagboto para sa mga nasa vulnerable sectors? Para sa ating senior citizens, persons with disability at pregnant voters, may priority polling place na para lang sa inyo. Ito ay isang espesyal na polling place na nasa ground floor lamang para hindi po kayo mahirapan. Pero dapat, hindi ka nakarehistro sa accessible polling place. May early voting hours din from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Pwede na kayong bumoto sa mga voting centers at piling malls. Iwas sa maraming tao, mas safe para sa inyo. Para sa mga indigenous peoples, ang COMELEC na mismo ang lalapit sa inyo. Meron pong accessible voting center na malapit o nasa komunidad ninyo. Hindi niyo na po kailangan maglakbay ng malayo. Ang mga persons deprived of liberty naman ay maaaring bumoto sa special polling place na nandyan mismo sa inyong jail facility. Kaya huwag mag-alala. Maginhawang pagboto, sigurado! Ang COMELEC po ang mag-aalaga sa inyo. Serbisyong may puso. Tara na!
Dead trees, a sign of impending apocalypse or of better things to come. A school on stilts, where children in a poor Lagos community can get an education.
Global Us.
What makes one stand out in a country full of dining spots and event spaces? Maybe it's the familiar comfort of Filipino flavors served with finesse, or perhaps it's the space that doesn't just host celebrations but helps create them. Today we take you to a place where the warmth of home meets the charm of heritage. Welcome to 𝗵𝗵𝗐𝗍, the Royal Cafe, the royal venue where food isn't just served, it's celebrated, and every gathering is made to matter. Join us to explore from plate to banquet and how each bite makes for a great moment.
Dito sa Manila, ang 𝗵𝗵𝗐𝗍 is also known as 𝗵𝗵𝗏𝑑ine. So, pag social ka, 𝗵𝗵𝗏𝑑ine. Pero pag Batanggenyo ka, 𝗵𝗵𝗐𝗍 yung tinatawag. Meaning po na sa Batangas is tikman dito.
Okay. So basically, parang you said that this is inspired by Batangas. May Batanggenyo ba sa inyo, Arthur?
Actually, yung parents ko po is from Batangas. Yung dad ko po from Alitagtag, Batangas. Yung mom ko from Lipa City, Batangas.
So, ibig sabihin, yung roots nyo talaga ay sa Batangas. So, parang ano yung inspiration, maliban sa pangalan, nagaling sa Batangas, 𝗵𝗵𝗐𝗍. But I like, when of course, the Gen Z siguro and the people in the urban communities, they call it 𝗵𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏, which is really a little bit classy, di ba? Pero, aside from the name, what other inspirations were you able to get from Batangas?
From Batangas, well actually, yung ambience. So parang inspired po siya sa Tagaytay, no? Kumbaga parang dinala namin yung isang restaurant from Tagaytay dito sa Quezon City. And also yung customer service po natin, parang may pagka-Batanggenyo touch pa rin po.
Ang sabi nila, Arthur, di ba, pag Batanggenyo, parang actually yung mga matatapang din, di ba? Parang, pero doon sa introduction namin kanina sa episode, we were telling this na the charm of Filipino home, ayun, and the ambience of cultural heritage. Parang paano nyo nagawa ito? Like say, are there a lot of Batanggenyo restaurants also that you have competed with? Ano ba yung mga tinignan nyo muna ng mga restaurants? Anong uri at bakit kayo napunta sa Filipino cuisine?
Yes, sir. So actually, nag-start kami without even looking at competitors.
Wow,
so
okay.
Parang naging natural yung growth ng restaurant, yung pag-form ng mga ambience po. Kumbaga parang naging original po sa amin, naging natural yung growth. And also, in terms of competitors dito sa area, wala naman. Actually, pupunta ka pa ng Batangas para talagang maka-experience ng ganitong klaseng service. Pero actually, kung isipin, parang wala rin masyado sa Batangas.
Okay. Now, speaking of cuisine,
yes.
Diba, parang sinasabi lang natin na Batanggenyo siya galing sa Batangas. But when you look at the menu, when you look at everything, it's basically offering Filipino food. Like, for example, I asked Sir Maynard a while ago, parang he asked me what's my favorite. I said, pinakbet. You have pinakbet. So, hindi nyo ba pinuposition naman na ano lang to? Na parang Batanggenyo restaurant lang, but it's really a place to find the best Filipino cuisine.
Sa menu, kung titingnan nyo, mas pinopromote namin yung Filipino cuisine, but we also have international cuisine. Meron din Chinese, Italian, mga pizza, pasta. So there's a lot of option for your Kasi syempre sa family, hindi naman natin masasabi na Filipino food lang yung gusto ng isang pamilya. Syempre may gusto rin ng iba't ibang klase ng cuisine. So yun po yung naging inspiration namin. Nag-adapt po kami sa demand ng isang family para mabuo yung menu ng restaurant po namin.
How do you balance creating an exquisite dining experience without making it too expensive? Kasi parang when you come to your restaurant, facade pa lang, parang,
intimidating lang.
Medyo it intimidates you na, di ba? Parang, wow, I think this is a little bit pricey, di ba? And when you come here, when you see the ambience, when you see the fountain and all, parang it's really a classy yet cozy restaurant. So how do you balance that exquisiteness and of course the price points?
Well, in terms of the pricing ng mga food po sa menu, hindi namin masyado tinataasan since kino-consider din namin yung preference ng nasa area natin. So usually nagbe-base din kami sa opinions ng mga customers, kaya parang nababalance din namin. And also in terms of the serving, kumbaga parang sinisigurado po namin na sulit yung mababayaran nila plus the ambience na ino-offer po ng restaurant. In terms of customer service din, hindi pwedeng wala yun in terms of doon sa binayaran mo eh. Kumbaga, you're the customer, nagbayad ka, you will get top-notch service and also yung top-notch food po. And also the top-notch ambience.
Sino ba sa family ang mahilig kumain, mahilig magluto, even the architecture and even the landscape, I see it, it's really well thought out.
Kumbaga yung mastermind sa lahat po nito, syempre po si Dad po, si Sir Maynard po. And ang talagang knowledge siya lang before is food. Sadyang mahilig po siya sa pagkain. So,
the sake of
yes po. So yung nagluluto sa amin ng mga bata para natin. Tapos in terms of the the environment or the structure of the area, hindi po siya instant na ganito agad. Kumbaga parang unti-unti po namin binuo based dun sa demand ng mga customers. Since the events place din po yung restaurant, ang word dito is adaptability. Ang main business nga is insurance. So parang nagkaroon po kami ng network na doon. Nagkaroon kami ng mga loyal clients na tatangkilik ng mga businesses pa namin, mga ganun po. So nung na-establish din po ito, parang hindi rin nawala yung support. Nag-connect po actually because yung insurance, kumbaga parang ginawa rin po namin yung relationship na style, relationship approach para maging loyal yung clients po sa amin. So we utilize the restaurant para talagang magkaroon ng bonding with the client and the business po.
As what Dr. Emil mentioned in the interview,
yes.
Basically parang this was really part of the plan, to, as you said, as you emphasized, Arthur, it's really relationships, and the relationships can be established in a place like this,
yes.
Diba? And speaking of insurance, health insurance, diba? Parang people would want to talk to someone, discussing it. So parang kakaiba ito. There is something unique about RoyalCare. In terms of positioning, kayo lang din ba yun? Or parang masasabi niyo ba na kayo yung nagsimula ng konsepto na ito?
I think kami po yung naging pioneer po ng ganito. Actually, wala pa akong nakikita na nakagawa ng ganitong klaseng concept po.
Yun ba ay parang sinadya nyo rin o talagang parang, as you mentioned, parang I like what you said, being a Gen Z na you always try to listen, to
yes.
what people say, to your customers. So is that the way it is? Parang was this really a part of the vision, or parang because of the feedback coming from the market, you wanted to adapt to that?
Actually, rin po may vision, at the same time, nag-a-adjust kami dun sa feedback ng mga customers po. Passion project na rin po itong 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 or yung restaurant din po. At the same time, yung event space din po.
Going back to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, what's the impression that you wanted to leave especially to the first-time diners? And how do you incorporate Filipino traditions? Kasi I see that it's really a big place that you do functions. What other activities that you do?
In terms of the customer loyalty, of course, yung first visit, talagang focus kami sa customer service. Mag-perfect lahat ng factors na makaka-apekto sa dining experience ng isang customer po. So yung elements na yun is yung food, yung customer service, and also the ambience. Ayun po yung tinitingnan namin. So once na umalig, pag bumalik, patuloy lang. Tuloy-tuloy lang yung ganong klaseng service po. And at the same time, parang kinikiyahan namin yung customers. So like, yun, may nabubuong relationship din po. And because of that, parang nagkakaroon ng trust, which causes na yung customer mag-a-avail na ng mga different services namin. Tulad na sa events place. So yeah, hindi lang sila kumain, mag-birthday pa dito. So yung mga ganong klase.
So dito, Arthur, merong RoyalCare venue din. So you hold a lot of events here. Ano ba yung mga events na yun at ano yung karaniwan nilang isinasagawa dito?
Ayun po. So mga highlights ng 𝗗𝗏𝗏𝗏 po, RoyalCare venue. Taon-taon dito po nag-celebrate or dito ginaganap yung Miss Philippines. May event po sila dito. And also yung mga, actually birthdays, yan po yung typical events. Wedding, ayan po, kahit birthday po ng pusa, pwede natin gawin dito.
So pet-friendly din?
Yes po, pet-friendly. Organizations like companies, actually PCCI po, dito po sila nag-event din. So, isa yun sa mga highlights po ng place na to. Kumbaga sa isang townhouse, sa isang village, may clubhouse. Kumbaga kami yung clubhouse ng mga lahat ng companies, ng organizations, yun po.
Coming here, diba, there's really a lot of establishments in the area, diba?
Yes.
Even before, in your street alone, diba? There's a lot. What is it that makes you stand out, both the RoyalCare venue and 𝗗𝗏𝗏𝗏?
Sa area po natin or sa competitor sa paligid, yung masasabi kong advantage natin is yung na-build natin na ambience din po. And also yung relationship building with the customer loyalty. Yun yung pinaprioritize po natin. And also, in terms of the PCCI din po, naging loyal din sila sa atin because of yung participation natin. Participation po namin lagi sa mga events nila. Na po promote natin yung business. Yung experience nila dito, kumbaga, totoo nga doon sa ina-advertise namin. Kaya nagiging loyal yung mga customers po natin.
Actually, talagang totally different compared sa iba, no? Being Batanggenyo po, no? Parang bihira yung restaurant na Batangas na medyo ganito kalaki, no? At least ma-appreciate nila yung Batanggenyo cuisine, no? Na aming pinagmamalaki, no? So actually, ang Batanggenyo, pagka matanong niyo po, medyo ang tawag namin doon yung maligalig, no? Parang maselan. So pagka medyo hindi nasarapan, parang ayaw na agad. So so coming from the experience, so talagang ako din yung maselan at talagang gusto ko ay excellent yung lahat ng quality ng so yun din ang aming practice, aming i-apply dito sa 𝗗𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So yung difference dito talagang napapalibutan ka ng mga puno, mga halaman, no? So ang maganda rin ay marami kang usually mga Instagrammable na saan ka magpapapicture. Kaya yung buong family na-enjoy nila. So iba-iba ang team kahit saan ka magpunta. So of course nandiyan ang Royal Cafe, iba rin ang team niya, no? Royal ating events place, ang 𝗗𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So may alfresco, meron tayong air-conditioned rooms, no? Dito natin na-enjoy. Kaya yung mga balikbayans, usually either pagdating, dito agad nila ini-invite kasi neighborhood, yung community rito. Alam naman natin ang dito, aware naman tayo, yung government offices, halos majority narito rin. Kaya usually talagang dito sila nag-stay sa atin. Kaya kami, sabi nga, RoyalCare, no? So being solutions provider kami, talagang hindi lang yung ating peace of mind, yung solutions provider para sa insurance. So even sa ating sa katawan, so at least sold, sabi nga, champion. So panalo. So dapat ganun ang maging result ng kanilang dining experience. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, yung ating doon sa front page pa lang, 𝗗𝗶𝗴𝗏 so very welcoming, no? Medyo may drama pa nga na para bang ano bang meron sa loob. So at least meron tayong at least masasurprise. Usually nasa-surprise yung mga bago rin, nakikita nila. Kaya yung 𝗗𝗶𝗴𝗏, yung sa salitang Batangas, yung 𝗗𝗶𝗴, so yun ay tikman. Oo, at ganun din ang pinanggalingan ng takam, no? So parang attraction. So attraction, kaya yung pagka natakam, di ba usually pagka natakam tayo, gusto natin tikman. So kaya naroon ang 𝗗𝗶𝗴, no? At saan? Dini. So dito. So once na natakam, titikman yun, masasarapan siyempre. Ang journey ng experience in dining ay papunta sa 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏. So kaya talagang usually yung family, yung grandparents nila, hanggang sa sino ba ang nagbabayad? Usually yung grandparents. So kaya walang magawa yung mga Gen Z, yung mga bata pagka sinabing gusto kumain, dito tuloy napupunta sa 𝗗𝗶𝗴𝗏. At total entertainment naman ang experience nila. So
that was coming. I was also asking Arthur kanina pagdating sa management style ninyo. Parang I asked how receptive are you to the ideas of the Gen Zs? So parang sabi niya parang you're really dynamic in the sense that you are implementing what the customers want. Kasi di ba in other business establishments or companies, di ba, they're very patriarchal. But in your case, talagang somehow there's a marriage of the traditional and the new one. So ganito po ba talaga din yung management style?
So ganoon, talagang kasi tayo ay based dun sa kino-customize natin yung needs ng kasi sila ang may requirement eh. So kumbaga sila ang may concern, kumbaga parang sila tayo ang problem solver nila. So kung ano yung appetite, kung ano yung gusto talaga, so make see to it na talagang mabigyan namin ng magandang solution yung kanilang concern. Kaya very flexible ang aming approach sa ating customers.
I was asking for expansion plans. Being, sabi nga ni Arthur, mastermind of these initiatives. What do we expect, from RoyalCare, both from the insurance and 𝗗𝗶𝗴𝗏 and the events place?
Hopefully, ay maging franchisable. Actually, yung aming Royal Cafe, yun po muna ang aming plan para magkaroon ng expansion. And then, usually, pagka magkaroon kami ng coffee shop, nandun lagi ang RoyalCare, yung aming insurance business. And then, eventually, may plano din kami magkaroon ng venue, no? So, yun ang aming expansion program. And definitely, madadamay yung 𝗗𝗶𝗴𝗏, no? Yun nga, sabi nga ni Arthur, hindi ganun kadali. So, kung paano ganito kalaki at may mga puno ang ating baka so medyo malaki-laki requirements, kaya hopefully magkaroon tayo. Of course, gusto ito sa amin sa South, and then hopefully magkaroon tayo even in Cebu and Davao. Yan. At lalo sa abroad, ito yung gusto. Yung,
marami po bang mga OFWs na pumupunta dito? Yeah. At paano nila nalalaman?
Napakarami. Ito nga po ang nakakatuwa din. Minsan, yung OFW na sila yung nasa abroad, sila yung nag-propose doon sa family na doon kayo magpunta sa 𝗗𝗶𝗴𝗏. And then during doon sa kanilang dining, naka-video pa, naka-live yung na dito kumakain. Marami sa abroad ang talagang nandito.
Ano po ba yung mga naging challenges niyo rin at bilang pagtulong na rin sa mga ibang mga entrepreneurs din na nanonood sa atin. Ano yung mga challenges sa pagninegosyo at ano ang dapat nilang gawin naman para makabangon sila sa mga challenges na yan?
Kung challenges ang pag-uusapan, lahat naman ng naging successful ay dumaan doon. No? So, given yon, talagang mahaba din yung aming challenges na dinaanan. Pero, of course, dahil nakafocus tayo, talagang yun ang ating passion, yun ang ating lalo yung pagiging experience ko being a breadwinner. So, nandun yung aking worry na what if something happen, nandun yung ating peace of mind, yung security. So, yun ay talagang in-apply natin. At from there, kapag-develop tayo ng lahat ng kailangan, of course, yung product knowledge, dapat nandun, establish tayo doon. And then yung ating, syempre, given naman, hindi naman nawawala yung pagiging hardworking, no? So, yung dedication, so naandun yun. At above all, of course, yung ating trust, at yung relationship natin sa Ama, at siya yung magtuturo kung ano yung ating gagawin. So, yun, ang ating namang practice ay pamilya, business, and then tuloy-tuloy, establish natin yung network, lalapit sa iyo. Maganda kasi yung nangyayari. So, automatic, natural ang effect. Sabi nga kanina, yung attraction, and then after ng attraction, tuloy-tuloy naman sa ito yun, kailangan natin umatak, no? So, pero very natural din yung attack. So, hindi, lalo ang insurance selling, well, hard selling. So, hindi siya nagiging hard selling kasi ang effect, ang client na mismo, ang lumalapit. Kaya, yun, kaya nakikita nyo kami, very, very active sa Philippine Chamber of Commerce, even sa mga organizations like Halston, at even Women Biz, active dito, ECOP. So, sila din ang nagiging bisita natin dito. Para lang itong bahay na pagkagaya ni kayo po, brothers at matagal ko na kayo nilibitahan, special kayo. So, pag pumunta kayo dito, titiyakin ko na mag-enjoy kayo. At welcome na welcome kayo dito. Kaya yun yung nagiging result na nariwilo. Sila dito saan? Sa 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 sa RoyalCare Marketing. Sabihan nga, pag tama yung una, ginagawa, tama din sa dulo. Kaya alam ko na lalong mas magiging successful. At yun yung magiging legacy naman natin, hindi lang sa ating family, even sa ating katuwang sa paghahanap buhay. No? So, ganon. Kaya always more family ang aming relationship. Makikita niya na napakasaya din ng ating mga workers dito sa atin sa RoyalCare and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Inspiring words from the owner of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and RoyalCare, Mr. 𝗦𝗫𝗆𝗍. Open for business. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Ramdam na ang tindi ng init ng araw. Para masigurong protektado ang ating kalusugan ngayong tag-init, narito ang ilang tips mula sa Department of Health. Kung maaari, huwag munang lumabas ng bahay tuwing matindi ang tirik ng araw. Siguraduhin din na lagi tayong nakakainom ng tubig, gumamit ng payong at sombrero, magdala din ng pamaypay. At para laging cool, samahan ng masayang talakayan ni Ali Soto at Pat P. Daza dito sa ASPN. Ano sa palagay nyo? Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 8 hanggang alas 10 ng umaga, dito lamang sa Net25.
Together sa Net25.
Ngayong eleksyon, hatid ng Net25 News and Information ang malawak na pagbabantay sa boto ng bayan mula botohan hanggang bilangan. kasama ang mga pangalang may prinsipyo at paninindigan. Matatag, matapang at matapat. Mula Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Sama-sama tayong maging mata ng halalan.
And our buzzword is reinsurance. It is often referred to as insurance for insurance companies. It is a contract between a reinsurer and an insurer. And with that, our quote of the week is this: you don't buy life insurance because you are going to die, but because those you love are going to live. Maraming salamat sa isang oras sa pagsama sa amin. Thank you so much, Emil, for joining us today sa pagsama sa amin upang tunghayan ng isang makabuluhang usapan ukol sa negosyo dito lang sa Open for Business. Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan nyo kaming muli dito sa Open for Business. Catch us too on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe on our social media page on Net25 TV. We will bring you more insights from industry experts, thought leaders, CEOs, and featured SMEs. Together, let us help encourage business development in the Philippines, sharpen your business acumen, feel the pulse, and set the trend for as long as you are informed and open for business. Ito po si 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Marami pong salamat.